NeedyMeds users and friends. Thanks so much for joining me today. My name is Carla. I'm the Director of Director of User Engagement at NeedyMeds. And today I'm going to explain how you can help your patients or clients save on their healthcare costs with NeedyMeds. Before we get started, I'd like to offer a few tips so you can make the most out of the presentation. First of all, if you do have questions, you can feel free to type them into that questions section of your GoToWebinar control panel. Just know that I will reserve answering the questions until the end. And I'm going to take a quick second to just make sure the audience is hearing me. If you guys are hearing me, please again send me a message in that questions section of your GoToWebinar control panel. Thanks so much, because I got some feedback. There was some audio difficulty with some of our audience members. So again, send me a message to let me know you can hear me clearly, and you can do that in the questions section of your GoToWebinar control panel. Thanks so much. So again, if you do have questions throughout the presentation, go ahead and use that question section. But again, I will reserve answering questions until the end. And thank you to the audience for confirming for me that you can hear me clearly. Thanks, everybody. So if I don't have a chance to answer your particular question, don't worry, because I will follow up with you via email. But of course, I will also provide my contact information. Oops, got ahead of myself there. I will provide my contact information and the contact information for NeedyMeds at the end. Also, the good news is this presentation is being recorded and will be available on the NeedyMeds YouTube channel. I'll mention that a little bit later in the presentation, but I don't want to forget to tell you to please subscribe to that. And of course, stressing that you can check out that handout section of your GoToWebinar control panel. That's where you will find this PowerPoint presentation, as well as other pamphlets and brochures I thought you'd be interested in. So with the presentation today, I'm going to cover what NeedyMeds is, what are the healthcare savings we offer that can help your patients afford their medications and other healthcare expenses, or save on their medications and other healthcare expenses. We'll talk about the drug discount card, which is another cost savings option for your patients I think you'll be interested in. I'll mention some other resources we offer for healthcare professionals, as well as some easy ways to stay in touch with us and up to date on healthcare topics. So let's dive in with what is NeedyMeds. For those of you not familiar with us, what you're looking at on your screen is all of our formal wording for our mission statement, a statement about how we achieve that mission, and our vision statement. But simply put, NeedyMeds connects people to programs that will help them afford their healthcare expenses. And we do that free and anonymously through our helpline, 1-800-503-6897, and our website, NeedyMeds.org. So let's dive right in to talk about how you can find healthcare cost savings on NeedyMeds.org. And I hope you'll agree it's really simple. You simply go to NeedyMeds.org and click on, and excuse me, that now says at the top, it says patient savings, but actually that tab, and I apologize, I must have pulled an older screenshot, that tab is now more conveniently labeled healthcare savings. So again, you would go to NeedyMeds.org, click on that healthcare savings tab, and all of these different ways to save on healthcare costs will pop up. You'll see a section for prescription assistance programs, and in that same section, you'll also find our $4 generic drug discount programs. You'll find our free, low-cost, and sliding scale clinics, coupons, rebates, and more. Diagnosis-based assistance programs, another popular destination. Our COVID-19 Resource Center, which is full of programs for those experiencing financial hardships and struggling with healthcare expenses because of the pandemic. You can help your patients find assistance with medical transportation costs, which is more common than you would think. We have categories dedicated to connecting patients to retreats, camps, recreational programs, and even educational scholarships. You can find government programs for your patients listed by state. And of course, under this healthcare savings tab, you will find a link to the NeedyMeds drug discount card, which we'll talk about later on. Now, I'd like to explain what each of these categories are and what savings they offer. So, first, right at the top left hand, under that healthcare savings, you saw the section for prescription assistance programs. And it's no accident that that is at the very top left under that tab. The reason it's there is because prescription assistance programs, by far, offer the most cost savings for brand name medications. So let me define what prescription assistance programs are. They are programs that are usually supported by pharmaceutical companies and most of the time offer free, and some of the time offer deeply discounted prescription drugs, usually name brand to those that qualify. So basically, if you are looking to connect a patient or client with a savings program for a brand name drug, begin your search here, as prescription assistance programs again offer the most savings. Now, you saw on the screen, what just popped up is the $4 generic drug discount programs. Those are also on the top left-hand side under the prescription assistance programs. Now, $4 generic drug discount program on needymeds.org is a section that is a great resource for finding generic medications for a discounted price. And here's the thing. Suggest to your patient that they check out this destination even if they have insurance, because sometimes we can connect someone with a prescription that is available at a lower price than their insurance company. Now, if your patient or client is in need of affordable primary and preventive care, search that free, low-cost, or sliding scale clinic section for convenient locations for medical, dental, mental health, and substance abuse clinics. There are actually more than 18,000 clinics nationwide in this category. So check out that destination if you have a patient or client that is in need of affordable and convenient primary and preventive care. The coupons, rebates, and more section will connect you to discounted over-the-counter drugs, prescription medications, and medical supplies, really with just a quick click of your mouse. Now, another really important but also popular destination on needymeds.org under that healthcare savings tab is our diagnosis-based assistance program section. To help patients afford expenses related to a specific healthcare condition or diagnosis, visit the diagnosis-based assistance program section. Now, for the most part, this section does not include cost savings for medications. What it does include instead are other medical expenses that are related to the healthcare diagnosis but may fall outside of the label of a medication. For example, maybe you have a patient that is having trouble affording durable medical equipment. Maybe they need money to be able to take time off for respite care. Maybe they need help affording living expenses while receiving treatment. Maybe they need help affording testing supplies. Or maybe they want to get access to a service animal. Basically, any health-related expense that is not a medication, you'd want to check out this section. And as you can tell by the examples I gave, the programs vary greatly in the cost savings they provide for different expenses. Now, if you, your patients, clients, or the population you serve have been impacted by the pandemic, encourage them to visit our COVID-19 Resource Center. It's full of programs for those experiencing financial hardships and struggling with healthcare expenses due to the COVID-19 coronavirus. So we've heard that getting to and from a doctor or specialized facility can cause its own financial burden. So we put together a couple of years ago our medical transportation cost assistance section. And that's exactly what it sounds like. It's a section where you can look to connect your patient to a program that can help them afford medically related transportation expenses. As I mentioned, we also have categories that provide camps, retreats, recreational programs, and educational scholarships for people of all ages all over the country living with specific diagnoses. And encourage your patients to check out the government program section. That's another important destination to search for government funded healthcare programs in your state. One of the things I really want to stress at this point is with this presentation, my goal is not necessarily for you to be a NeedyMeds expert, although I hope that we achieve that. The goal is to make sure I simply introduce you to the breadth and scope of the resources we offer and hopefully how to easily find them. But don't forget, we do have a call center. So if you or your patient are having difficulty finding what you need on our website, don't hesitate to reach out to our call center counselors because that is their job. They're here to help connect people to cost savings programs that will ease the financial burden of their healthcare expenses. So keep that in mind. And we do have Spanish speaking counselors. So now, as I said in the beginning of the presentation, or in an earlier part of the presentation, in addition to these healthcare savings resources under that healthcare savings tab, at the bottom of that page, you will also find a link to the NeedyMeds drug discount card, which is another important way you can help your patients save money on their prescriptions or healthcare expenses. Now, the NeedyMeds drug discount card, which offers those not using insurance a way to lower the price of their medications, is like other drug discount cards. The user simply takes the card, which can be plastic, it could be in a paper form, or it can even be a phone app. They take the drug discount card to the pharmacy, match it in with the prescription, and save. Now, there are other cards out there, but the NeedyMeds drug discount card is free and anonymous. We do not track user personal data, so confidentiality is guaranteed. There is no registration. There is no enrollment. There are no residency requirements, and the card does not need to be activated. The card is also accepted at more than 65,000 pharmacies nationwide. The NeedyMeds drug discount card can be used to save up to 80% off the cash price of prescription meds. It can be used to save on over-the-counter medications and supplies as long as they're written as prescriptions. And the drug discount card can even be used to save on human equivalent pet meds purchased at the regular pharmacy. You can also use the NeedyMeds drug discount card to save 40% off medical equipment. So the big question we get all the time is who can use the card? And the simple answer is anyone. The only rule is it cannot be combined with insurance. So if you have a patient that is uninsured, tell them they can use the card anytime. If they do have insurance or drug coverage, they may choose to use the card instead. And they may do this, for example, if they find that they have a particular medication that's not covered under insurance. Maybe they find themselves in a coverage gap. Maybe they have a high copay or high deductible, or have exceeded a cap for drug coverage for the year. So let me show you how you can get drug discount cards, and I'll point out some tools for maximizing savings. So you may remember there is a link to our drug discount card page under that healthcare savings tab that says NeedyMeds drug discount card. But on needymeds.org, you can also click on this red arrow on the box that says Get Your NeedyMeds drug discount card. Both of these destinations, the drug discount card link under healthcare savings and on this box to the left, both of those will take you to the NeedyMeds drug discount card page. This is what it looks like. And this is where you'll be able to print out a downloadable PDF of the NeedyMeds drug discount card. We'll explain to you how to download the app for free from Google Play or the iTunes App Store. There will be a form to complete if a patient is requesting we mail them a card, and they'll be able to choose their own design, very exciting, or your patients can also mail us a request to our P.O. box with a self-addressed stamped envelope. They can always also reach out to our call center counselors, and they can drop one or a few cards in the mail. Now, at the bottom of this page, you will find the pharmacy search. This is simply where users can type in their zip code to see what pharmacies in their area accept the NeedyMeds drug discount card. And as I mentioned before, the chances are there will be at least one, if not more, because the NeedyMeds drug discount card is accepted in more than 65,000 pharmacies nationwide. Now, at the bottom of this page, you will also find the drug pricing calculator. This is where users can find out how much the drug will cost using the NeedyMeds drug discount card. So the idea is that your patients will have a drug discount card, know what pharmacies in their area accept it, and how much the medication will cost them before they head out the door. Now, let's move on because I also wanted to point out other resources we have for healthcare providers. So here's a long list. So let's talk about what's on your screen right now. The easiest and simplest way to help your patients is to simply be aware of NeedyMeds and refer them our way. Again, connecting your patients with healthcare savings is our area of expertise, and we do it free and anonymously. And they can check out our website, needymeds.org, and visit that healthcare savings tab, or they can reach out to our call center counselor. Sometimes it's just easier to speak with a live person. If you do have other colleagues that you think would be interested in learning about NeedyMeds and the resources we offer, I would be happy to conduct a personalized webinar training. Just send me a message or an email. And again, I'll provide my contact information at the end of the presentation. We are also offering the PAIR course and exam, the Patient Assistance Resource Education. That's what PAIR stands for, course and exam, where it's a web-based self-paced tutorial to learn how to navigate needymeds.org. Now, under that Healthcare Savings tab, you will find the Education tab. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about that later on. But that tab is where you can sign up to receive our newsletter, program update emails, print materials, and more. But it's also where you can sign up for upcoming webinars. So please check that out because we really do our best to populate our webinar calendar with topics we think our users would be most interested in. So again, under that Healthcare Savings Education tab, you can sign up for NeedyMeds mailings and our different platforms, and also sign up for future webinars. You can also, under that Education tab, ask us for an unlimited supply of our drug discount cards and educational materials, because our brochures and pamphlets don't help anybody if they're just sitting on the shelf at NeedyMeds. An important benefit I'd like to share with you as healthcare professionals is that we can create for free your own customized drug discount card. What that means is, instead of having a drug discount card with the NeedyMeds name and logo, we can create a customized drug discount card with your business or organization's name and logo. That includes a plastic card as well as a PDF version of the card. And again, we do that for free, and we will also provide you every month with a complimentary email and a complimentary emailed report of how many times your drug discount card was used and the dollar amount of savings it afforded your patients. Sorry about that. We also encourage you, if it makes sense and is a good fit, to add NeedyMeds as a resource on your website or to any of your educational materials. Please send us, especially if you're a nonprofit, any educational or healthcare information that you'd like us to post on our social media platforms, and we're happy to send you some evergreen NeedyMeds information so you can share with your users as well. Again, this is for nonprofits in particular. If you do have some free education-based programs being offered, we're happy to add that to our calendar of events. We also have something called PapShare. PapShare means that you can add all of our prescription assistance programs directly to your website. And again, that is free and at no cost. Now, all of these um, benefits that I've suggested to you up until PapShare, those are all free of charge. You'll notice the last two resources on this list, Pap Tracker and licensing our data, those have an asterisk next to those. That's because these two bullets are asterisk because there is a fee involved. But I wanted to bring them to your attention because they might be of value to you and your team. First of all, we do have Pap Tracker, which is a software that we created that eliminates the administrative burden of manually submitting and tracking prescription assistance program applications. If you'd like to learn more about that, send me a message in that question section, and I can put you in touch with our resident expert, Sal, who can give you a free demonstration of Pap Tracker and talk to you about the fee schedule. And the last one on that list, license our data. As I said, if you would like to put our prescription assistance programs on your website, we can do that free of charge. But if you would like to include our other cost savings categories on your website, there is a fee attached to that. But again, let me know if you're interested in learning more about that or any of the additional provider resources we talked about. I also want to bring to your attention that NeedyMeds also hosts other sites that you and the population you serve may find helpful. You can go, or your patients can go directly to findcare.org, type in a zip code, and find affordable clinics near the patient's home or place of work. SafeNeedleDisposal.org is a site dedicated to the safe disposal of home-generated used sharps or needles. And BeMedWise.org is where you can find accurate, up-to-date, and useful information on the safe and appropriate use of medicines, safe storage of medicines, and the safe disposal of unused meds. The great thing about BeMedWise.org is certainly direct patients there, but we have a lot of printable infographics and tip sheets that you can print out and share with the population you serve, or email them. They can certainly be shared electronically, which, considering we're still in a pandemic, may prove more useful to you. So I also said that I would provide easy ways to stay in touch with NeedyMeds, so let's talk about that. Oh, and before we get to that, I just wanted to show you some of the other upcoming webinars scheduled through the end of the month, which I hope that you can register for and spread the word about. You can read more about what these webinars will entail and register for them under that education tab or on the bottom right-hand calendar of events on NeedyMeds.org. So now it's time to talk about easy ways you can stay with NeedyMeds and stay in touch with NeedyMeds. Of course, you can follow us on social media. We're very active on Facebook and BeMedWise. And in fact, we have separate social media channels for NeedyMeds and for our BeMedWise program. So check us both out. Check both of those programs out on social media. I mentioned in the beginning that today's webinar is being recorded and will be posted on our YouTube channel, and you can find a link to our YouTube on the top right of our homepage with the rest of these social media icons. And I hope you subscribe, because that way you'll be notified when new content such as webinars, presentations, or videos are added. You can also find NeedyMeds on LinkedIn. And I hope you read or subscribe to the NeedyMeds, our blog, the NeedyMeds Voice, where you and your patients can read timely, provocative pieces on healthcare-related topics. We are also still active on Pinterest, and we do have an Instagram account, so check that out. Now, under that education tab, right next to that healthcare savings tab, under the resources for you, you will find our subscription services, which is where you can order print materials such as our drug discount cards and brochures, and you can sign up for email alerts about program changes. Under the education section, you can sign up for upcoming webinars. You can sign up to receive our monthly e-newsletter Vitals and learn more about becoming a NeedyMeds Volunteer Ambassador. And please check out that Partner with NeedyMeds section. This is where you can read more about getting a customized drug discount card that I mentioned earlier, and also read our partnership brochure to see other partnership opportunities you may be interested in. As promised, I want to get to some of the questions coming in. And if you do have a question, you can go ahead and type it into the questions section of your GoToWebinar control panel. And as I get to those questions, I want to leave up our contact information. If you're interested in ordering a bulk supply of our drug discount cards and brochures, please reach out to my colleague Alana. If you have any questions regarding this webinar, the information I covered during it, or partnership inquiries, you can reach out to me at Carla with a C, carla@needymeds.org, and of course our helpline and website. One quick thing I want to remind everybody about our helpline. NeedyMeds is located in Massachusetts, so we are open Monday through Friday, weekdays, East Coast time. And again, that number is 1-800-503-6897, and we do have Spanish-speaking counselors. So I'm going to go ahead and leave this contact information up, and as I do, I'm going to get to some of those questions coming in. And a reminder, if you do have questions, you can type them into that questions section of your GoToWebinar control panel. So here's a question that we get regularly. Thank you to this audience member for asking it, which is, how does NeedyMeds support itself? Well, basically, and you can find this information on needymeds.org. On the very top of our website, you'll see an About Us section. And under there, you can find more information about this. But basically, we rely on 6 sources of financial support. Now, as a nonprofit, of course, we rely on corporate and individual donations as well as grants. We do license fees for organizations' uses of our databases. As I mentioned, we do sell PAP Tracker that helps eliminate the administrative burden of manually submitting and tracking prescription assistance programs. We do get a small transaction fee on every use of the free NeedyMeds drug discount card. We have thoroughly reviewed supporting partners on our website, and we do get fees from pharmaceutical companies for call center and application processing services. Oh, here's a question about what time the call center is open. Great question. Gives me a chance to remind everybody that we are open 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. weekdays, but again, we're located in Massachusetts, so that's East Coast time. Another question coming in. You mentioned you can use the drug discount card to save on pet meds. How? Yes, I'm glad you asked that. Actually, we did put together a less than 10-minute video on how to use the NeedyMeds drug discount card to save on your pet meds. Go to the NeedyMeds YouTube channel and simply type the word pets into the search bar, and you can find it that way. Another question that I get regularly, can people with Medicare Part D apply to prescription assistance programs? And unfortunately, the answer is it depends. Some will let you apply. Others will determine that on a case-by-case basis. But the good news is that if there is a prescription assistance program available, you will see the answer to whether or not Part D beneficiaries are eligible to apply in the very visible eligibility section of that prescription assistance program on our website. And again, if you have difficulty finding a cost savings program for a medication or healthcare expense your patient or client needs, don't hesitate to reach out to our call center counselors yourself or simply direct your patients to us. That oftentimes is the easiest thing to do. So it doesn't look like we have any other questions coming in, so we can go ahead and wrap up the presentation. I apologize because I know that looking back on the registration for today's webinar, I realized I had slotted an hour, and it really is closer, as you can see, to a half hour or 40 minutes. So that means maybe you'll have some some unexpected free time today, which never happens. But don't hesitate to reach out to me directly at carla@needymeds.org if you have any questions about what we've covered during the presentation, or partnership inquiries. Thank you again so much for participating in the NeedyMeds Overview webinar for healthcare providers, and we really do hope you keep in touch. Have a great and happy rest of the day. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.